His name is Mohammed bin Salman. He is the crown prince of Saudi Arabia, the future king after his father, King Salman bin Abdulaziz. His fortune cannot even be calculated precisely. Officially, around 368 billion euros pass through funds and assets, and it is believed that this is only a small part of his real money, literally one tiny fingernail of what is hidden from the public eye. And this is where the real luxury life level madness begins. Wealth so massive it feels like fantasy. Welcome to the channel for the richest.
Luxury life.
A castle for more than 400 million euros in France. Besides the endless palaces and residences in Saudi Arabia itself, the prince effectively owns the entire country. But when he travels, he also needs a modest little home. His favorite place in Europe is the luxurious Chateau Louis XIV in France, near Versailles. This little home cost more than 400 million euros. Inside, there are 3 swimming pools, around 30 bedrooms, a private cinema, a nightclub, a huge aquarium, a spa area, 2 vineyards, a garden of about 57 hectares, and an endless number of other amenities. Every detail screams luxury, elements made of pure 24-karat gold, marble, and high-end ceramics of the highest class, statues worth millions of euros, paintings, among the most expensive in the world, including works by Leonardo da Vinci valued at 7 to 10 million euros each. The castle itself was built about 16 years ago, inspired by French royal residences in the Versailles area. This is not just a house, it is a private palace of the 21st century. A yacht for 480 million and a Leonardo da Vinci painting for 400 million. As if the castle were not enough, soon after buying it, Mohammed bin Salman acquires another toy, a super yacht worth roughly 480 million euros. On the yacht, 2 swimming pools, a helipad, a party hall, 2 kitchens, a gym, tennis courts, bars, a cinema, and, as they say, a huge number of girls on board. And that is not all. The prince becomes the owner of one of the most sought after and expensive paintings in the history of art, Salvator Mundi by Leonardo da Vinci. In 2017, this painting was sold at auction for $400 million. For a long time, no one knew who exactly bought the masterpiece and where it was being kept. Later, the New York Times revealed that the buyer was Mohammed bin Salman. Right after the auction, the painting was delivered on one of his 4 private planes, straight to the yacht. This caused outrage in the world of art and culture. A masterpiece that museums and collectors fought for was simply hung in a private floating palace. Gold toilets versus smart toilets. A particular weakness of the royal family is toilets. Muhammad's father and his ancestors became famous for loving golden bathrooms. The king ordered golden toilets to be installed in all his residences. When he traveled to summits and meetings around the world, hotels and houses with similar luxury were selected for him. Otherwise, he simply would not live there. But the son decided to go another way. Mohammed bin Salman is also a fan of unusual toilets, but he likes not gold ones, but ultra-modern smart toilets. The very kind that heat the seat on their own, wash and dry, come with lighting, can have a built-in screen, connect to Netflix, and sometimes even have massage functions. Each such throne costs about $8,000, and in his homes, these systems are installed everywhere, because even a trip to the toilet must be at billionaire level. Personal life, a link to Lindsay Lohan. This man can afford a lot, including romances with global stars. For some time, there were rumors about his connection with actress Lindsay Lohan, one of the most famous and wealthy former Disney stars. She often flew to France and the Middle East to meet the prince, and although her family officially said that it was just friendship, the very fact of these trips fueled interest. Even if it was only a friendly connection, it was friendship on the level of private jets, palaces, and yachts with Da Vinci paintings. Gold supercars and cheetahs instead of dogs. But the truly insane things begin when we look not only at Mohammed himself, but also at his relatives. Some of his cousins have gold-covered supercars in their garages, a Lamborghini Aventador Polnist in gold, a huge Mercedes G63 AMG 6x6 also in gold, a Bentley Flying Spur, a Rolls-Royce Phantom, and it does not stop at cars. The younger generation of oil princes lives for likes and attention on social media. They buy cheetahs for around $17 $15,000 per animal, drive them in their gold cars, and the predators stick their heads out of the windows like ordinary damashnia dogs. Such footage fills Instagram and TikTok. There is an entire industry for transporting these cars to Europe. Twice a year, London turns into a supercar season, when the streets fill with incredible cars from Dubai and other Emirates. Most often, the cars are flown in by plane, and one of the favorite airlines is Qatar Airways. They have a special Boeing Dreamliner without passenger seats, used specifically to transport cars for ultra-wealthy clients. Private zoos, elephants, giraffes, and rare animals. And cheetahs are only the warm-up. Many sheikhs are obsessed with the idea of having their own zoos right on their villa grounds. In their private collections, you can see giraffes, tigers, eagles, rare and endangered animals, even elephants and rhinos. They pose next to supercars, a giraffe and a Lamborghini Veneno for 800,000 euros. Just one shot for Instagram. Nearby is a Mercedes-Benz G-Class worth about 200 million Colombian pesos, which is considered an almost cheap car in their garage. These people live as if the entire world is their personal playground. Prince Alwaleed bin Talal, a billionaire with a golden throne. Another legendary billionaire from this world is Prince Alwaleed bin Talal of Saudi Arabia. For many years, he has been on the list of the richest people on the planet. His fortune is estimated at more than $30 billion. He holds the title of prince and is known for his extravagant purchases. He owns stakes in hotel chains such as Four Seasons, Fairmont, Movenpick, and Swissôtel, technology companies like Apple and Twitter, major banks such as Citigroup and Samba. He also controls about 80% of the Rotana Media Group. His luxury is a separate universe. Personal chefs from all over the world, a jewelry collection worth about $700 million, an entire fleet of expensive cars. Among them, a Rolls-Royce Phantom, a Mercedes-Benz SL600 decorated with real diamonds worth about $48 million. But that is not all. He has his own Airbus A380 converted into a personal palace in the sky. Inside, a jacuzzi, a gym, a separate prayer room, a garage inside the plane for a couple of his cars, several bedrooms, and a throne made of solid 24-karat gold. Even the place for prayer and meditation is finished in gold. At one point, the prince stated that he intended to donate his entire fortune to charity, inspired by the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. He has already transferred about $3.5 billion to his charitable foundation, Alwaleed Philanthropies. Sheikh Hamad bin Hamdan Al Nahyan, the man who wrote his name on an island. Another hero of extreme luxury is Sheikh Hamad bin Hamdan Al Nahyan. His fortune is estimated at about $21 billion. But as in other cases, this is only the tip of the iceberg. He has 21 palaces on 3 continents, golf courses, stables, a network of 140 cafes, and many lands and assets. But his craziest idea is his own island, on which he wrote his name by digging giant canals so that from space, his signature could be read. It is a unique autograph visible to satellites. The Sheikh's main passion is cars. Since 1986, he has collected a collection of about 400 cars, monstrous SUVs, ultra-rare supercars, prototypes, oddly painted popular models. Here, an ordinary limited Ferrari or a rare Lamborghini is not the pinnacle, but almost just background. The real stars of the collection are giant and unique monsters on wheels, giant SUVs, the Mercedes Rainbow, and the Pyramid Museum. The crown of his collection is a giant Dodge Power Wagon, enlarged about 20 times compared to the ordinary one. It weighs about 50 tons, is taller than an average house, about 5 meters in height, and inside there are 4 rooms, a kitchen, a living room, and even a terrace. This is essentially a house on wheels. True, it has no engine, and if someone wants to move it somewhere, it has to be towed by a truck. The Sheikh's collection also includes 7 Mercedes-Benz S500 painted in the colors of the rainbow, one for each day of the week. Because of this rainbow, he even received a nickname connected with his love of bright colors. He gave these cars to his current wife, the daughter of a former UAE president, as a wedding gift. In one of his palaces in Abu Dhabi, built about 30 years ago, he entertains himself by driving a giant Jeep Willys around a sandy dvor listed in the the Guinness Book of Records as the largest in its class. There are other insane projects as well. For example, the Black Spider, created from the cab and interior of a Jeep Wrangler, the front end and grille of an International Lone Star truck, a Ford engine with 400 horsepower. He stores most of his collection in a giant steel pyramid without windows, built in 2012 on the outskirts of the city. Today, this is the Abu Dhabi Car Museum, where under conditionaire from the desert heat, more than 200 historic cars sleep. Turki bin Abdullah, a palace in Beverly Hills for $72 million. Another representative of the richest families is Turki bin Abdullah, a Saudi prince. He is about 26 years old, and he invested a significant part of his inheritance in a luxurious villa in Beverly Hills, California, worth about $72 million. In front of the house, there is a fountain with a statue. Inside, there is a giant spider chandelier, comparable in size to an entire ceiling of an ordinary home. Huge panoramic windows, marble floors, finishes mostly of bronze, gold, and diamond elements. The mansion has 11 bedrooms, 18 bathrooms, 11 fireplaces, a private cinema, a pool and spa, a garage for 50 cars. This is no longer simply a house, it is a private resort. The French Palace of Mohammed bin Abdulaziz. The son of the Saudi king, Mohammed bin Abdulaziz, also does not fall behind. He bought a luxurious estate in France worth about $300 million. On the facade, there are clocks made of enamel and bronze, and in the garden, there are marble statues and elements covered with gold. Like many others, this palace has its own cinema, meticulously designed rooms, secret zones for entertainment and relaxation, including an aquarium in one of the rooms, so that you can admire fish right from the house, a penthouse in a skyscraper, and the palace of the ruler of Dubai. Next comes another level of luxury. Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, vice president of the UAE and ruler of Dubai, has a fortune of about $15 billion. Among his many residences is an ultra-expensive penthouse for $323 million. There, rooms with huge screens that turn walls into a cinema, curtains made of shimmering handmade silk, everything finished with expensive materials, as if these were frames from a film about future kings. However, this is not even his main home, but just one of the most luxurious points on the map of his properties. And there is a main palace, so rich and enormous that describing it fully is practically impossible. Every detail is a demonstration of absolute power and money. Kingdom Tower and diamond-studded cars. We return again to the world of Prince Alwaleed bin Talal. He owns the futuristic skyscraper Kingdom Tower, worth about $1 billion. It has around 45 floors and a giant underground garage for about 3,200 cars. As if that were not enough, he decorates his cars with diamonds and Swarovski crystals. What for us is at most a bracelet with crystals, and often fake ones, for him is simply bodywork finishing. The Presidential Palace in Abu Dhabi. In Abu Dhabi, the Presidential Palace stands apart, where Khalifa Al Nahyan, the current president of the UAE, lives. The cost of building this palace is estimated at about $500 million. Life there is like a constant show. Outside, incredible fountains. Inside, enormous carpets, ceilings decorated with elements of gold, chandeliers made in a traditional Arab style, yet looking as if they were assembled for the tale of 1001 Nights. In the president's family, there are relatives who became famous for cars of extreme scale, the biggest, widest, most unusual cars in the world. The Sultan of Brunei, a palace with 2,000 rooms. From the Arabian Peninsula, we move to Southeast Asia. The Sultan of Brunei is another example of life like a movie. His fortune is estimated at about $17 billion. He owns a palace with the poetic name Palace of the Light of Faith. For outings, he rides in a gold carriage or a limousine decorated with gold. The palace itself costs about $2 billion, has about 2,000 rooms, around 290 bathrooms, and a banquet hall for 5,000 guests. This is not a home. This is a state in palace form. All these stories are only a small part of what the richest sheikhs, sultans, and princes in the world own. Many of their assets officially cannot be shown or even precisely evaluated. First, because part of the fortune is not declared to avoid taxes. Second, because the scale of their wealth is simply hard to fit into numbers. They fly on private airliners and rent planes where there are no seats, only cars and cargo. They have yachts designed for hundreds of people and palaces that in size surpass hotels. When they need to rest, they simply get into one of their many cars, yachts, or planes and fly to any point in the world. For them, gold is like water for an ordinary person, easily accessible and necessary for their lifestyle. And we can only watch, be amazed, and try to imagine what a person feels for whom a toilet for $8,000 is merely another interior detail. Number 1. What do you think about all this? Write in the comments. And right now, I suggest checking out one of the previous episodes on the channel for the richest. It is about luxury, wealth, and the lives of the most influential people on the planet. Thank you for watching.